Hello, Facebook Live. We are on with Caitlin Me. And how are you, Caitlin, today on this, very dreary Sunday?
I'm good, yeah. Just hoping things will begin to return to normal very soon, but the music is keeping me going.
Always good thing to keep you going, though, is the music.
Yeah.
And I've heard, though, from Helen that you've been working really hard. Your fingertips are quite sore.
They are so sore. I don't even know if you can
Let's have a close up on that. Yeah.
can you
Yeah.
see it
What
hurts so much.
what have you been doing recently to get that sore?
So I've been practicing some new covers, I think, because I wanted to add some things into my live streams and finally be able to do like a half-hour set without needing to throw in some tracks. Uh, and it's going well, and I'm enjoying, learning more songs. But obviously, the amount of times I'm playing now is just taking a toll on my fingers. And then yesterday, after I started learning a new cover, which I think I only got like halfway through, and then I was like, actually, I'm gonna give a go, like writing a song alongside the guitar, because usually when I write songs, I write them, it's the melody and the lyrics but no instrument, and then I take them to the studio, and that's where we like develop the music behind the song. But I was like, no, I'm gonna give it a go, even though I haven't really like delved into the theory of songwriting. So I was like, let's just see where it takes me. And I actually ended up writing a whole song yesterday, and I was so like interested and I was so involved and connected to it that I just kept playing. And my mum was like, you need to give yourself a break because your fingers are going to be in agony. And I was like, no, it's fine. I want to get this song done. It's good. It's good. And then by the end of the night, I was in a whole other world of pain. But yeah,
See,
I,
mother knows best all the time.
yeah, I was like, oh no, oh no. So I've had like cans of pop and like from the fridge and from the freezer, and I've been putting my fingers on there, and I last night I had salt water and I dipped my fingers in there because that's meant to be good, to try and like heal them up quicker, but not soften them. So that's what I've been doing.
Oh,
But then I
dear
decided
me.
to play again today earlier, and I just set it off again. So that's my mistake.
So, so what new cover have you been learning?
Oh, this cover is it's a Gabby Barrett one. Wait, I've got the song here because it's on the tip of my tongue, but I don't want to say "Footprints on the Moon."
Okay, no, not heard that one.
Yesterday was the first time I'd heard it because I was like, I was looking up good songs, good country songs to learn on the guitar, and I was like, I found this one and I liked the title, but I'd never heard it. So I was like, oh, I'll check it out. And it is an artist that I love. And I was just so glad that I ended up finding that song yesterday because it's incredible. I can't wait to actually be able to play it live for the first time.
I know. Hopefully soon, with the vaccines that's been rolled out, hopefully we'll be able to get out there soon, Caitlin. Like we were saying on our last interview, that we were deep into lockdown then. I know we're into lockdown now, but we're
Yeah.
seeing a light at the end of the tunnel now, aren't we?
Yeah. I can't wait for things to just start to return to normal. I know as well my brother is finding it really hard for different reasons, because I miss being on stage, and I do miss the social side with the music and being able to, meet new people. And but my brother, he's like always loved like friendship groups in school, and now he's in college, but he can't physically be in college. He's just obviously doing it online and he hates it.
Yeah, yeah. I know how that feels because I've been out of work for a year nearly now. It's terrible. But
It's,
same with
it's
the radio stuff. I can't even get into the radio station either, which is a bit bad as well.
I
So
know. It's crazy though how many people's lives have been turned upside down. Even if it's not been them physically having the virus, it's just been such a knock-on effect for everybody, like work and school, so like education and just everything. Nothing has kind of been able to remain the same.
I know it's just a terrible situation, but like I say, light at the end of the tunnel. But
Yeah,
more positively, you had your Christmas song out, and
yeah,
now you've got this new one out, which is those three words.
yeah. This is I always say this when it's a new song, but I'm like, this is my favorite one so far. This is the one I'm most excited about. But I think that's good to always be extremely excited for the one that you're currently like releasing. So, I mean, hopefully that's a good sign. But it's coming out on the 12th of February, and I've played it acoustically live a few times, like on live streams a few times, and I'm just so excited for it to actually be able to come out and people can hear the studio recording of it.
You've got plenty of supporters out there, Caitlin, and you've got Hannah, Kirsten, is it Christian? Yeah. You've got Mike, and yeah, so you've got quite a few out there giving you good support, and on all the others, of course, but they're the ones that your mum's putting up on the stream.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at now, but I can't see some of the comments for some reason. But I'm there's always something with me with technology. I'm so bad with technology. But yeah, I can see my mum commenting, and I can see Mike. That's all I can see at the moment.
Yeah, me too. That's all I can see. But Helen can probably see more. I'm not sure if she's shared it somewhere else. But those three words then. So where did that actually come about?
So it actually wasn't that long ago that I started writing this song, and it wasn't in my head. That wasn't the planned release, like for my next song to come out. That was not the plan. But when I wrote it, I was like, I need to release this as my next single, and I'd planned for my next single to come out in February. And then the fact that the vibe of the song really matches like Valentine's Day. It's not a Valentine's Day single, but it really does give off that vibe. So I think it's gonna be a really good song to release so close to Valentine's Day. And when I wrote it, I really wanted to write a song that wasn't your typical love song, that obviously talks about relationships being this perfect picture that everybody wants to have, but no relationship is perfect. No matter how many times somebody tells you, oh, my boyfriend or my girlfriend is incredible and they don't do anything wrong, I just think people do clash and people have their flaws, and those are things that make you special. They're not always something that is like the end of the world. And I think there are arguments in relationships all the time, and the fact that people can overcome those, that means so much more than this perfect picture of a relationship that's not actually real. But a lot of the younger generation are growing up obviously on like fairy tales and movies that depict relationships as something that you can't expect.
I was thinking the other day as well, with the lockdown and mental health problems, it's because obviously a lot of people suffer with mental health, probably been isolated as well, and they can't get into relationships because of this pandemic. That's the other sad thing as well, that people can't socialize.
I know, and as well for certain age groups, when this might be the time, like this might be the age where they start dating and they start doing things like that, I think it's going to be extremely hard for them. I mean, it's going to be hard in general for anybody having that time off and not getting to socialize. So you're not going to be quite as comfortable in those situations. But in my head, I'm just imagining the younger generation who haven't quite got to that stage, but they've reached that stage in lockdown. And when they come out, they would have had this gap where they couldn't try new things, and it's going to be really hard for them to then fit into that box and that standard.
Well, I wonder as well, how will it go back to what it was? Will it go back to what it was as well? Will it be a completely different world we're going to live in when it's all done?
I know, that's what I keep saying to my mum. I can't imagine it going back to exactly the way it was, because people do evolve as well. So when they're met with this situation they've never had to deal with before, people do evolve. I said to my mum, I don't think people will ever go back to, I mean, I know some will, but imagine people who didn't use hand sanitizer before, and the amount of the population who will probably always use hand sanitizer now.
And face masks. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And isn't that weird when you go around supermarkets and stuff, like Alan's just said there? He said, we'll be glad to go anywhere other than the supermarket and work. And going around a supermarket, it's just face coverings 2 meters apart. It's a different world to what we're used to, right?
yeah, it's insanely different. And people will say, "Oh, hey," and I'll be like, "Oh, I'm just so caught up. I don't realize that I know that person because I'm not used to seeing them in a mask." So it's
Who is that guy? Yeah.
you're like, wait, oh no, oh god, yeah, it's
It's
just
just
not
so strange. I mean, like you say, I'm 36 and I've never known anything like this. So for me to go around, it's just like, I
I
don't know
know,
what's going on. It's just, and when you stood in a supermarket now, the best thing is about it is you can see where everything is.
yeah,
you can, you can stand there and say, oh yeah, I know where everything is. You can look at the price of stuff.
I know, and
But
that's
people still don't follow the rules. The barge in saying, can I just get there? And it's like, whoa, hang on.
I know. That is my that's like it's so stressful now going to the supermarket because I'm in there sometimes and people will be so close to you. And as well, a lot of people obviously wear their masks and they've slipped down or so their nose isn't covered by the mask. And it's just like it's just worrying going in the supermarket now because you just never know.
And the other thing is for us musicians, and all the media guys, like, will we ever get back to a music festival? Will it be the same?
I
Will we
know.
get back to pub gigging? Will we get back to open mic life? Will we? I
I
don't
know.
know.
The worry for I think smaller artists and people who are just like climbing the ranks is they their crowds may not have been huge. Like obviously some people do stadium tours, like huge artists, and their crowds are huge. But when you're a small artist and your crowds are not that big to begin with, the fact that they might have to do well, they probably will have to do social distancing in the future is just going to make the crowd even smaller. So
Mm.
it's just a worry to think how many people are going to be in my audience, and you know,
But that's the great thing about the online releasing, isn't it? Putting it on Amazon, putting it on iTunes, wherever, people can just listen to it. And you think, well, I've got a piece of work out there. People cannot hear it live at the minute,
yeah.
but it's out there.
I know
And that's the beauty of it. It's good.
that's just what I said is been keeping me going is just being able to work on music and release music. And now that I'm playing guitar and I can do that as well, it's just always I always feel full with all the music going on because it has kept going on despite the lockdown and despite the things we couldn't have even imagined happening.
Have you got anything coming up planned? Any gigs online?
I do have, let me think. I do have something. I'm so bad because in my head now I'm like I've written it down or I've written it in the diary so I don't have to keep it in my head. I'm doing an Instagram takeover on Route 66's Instagram on Tuesday, and then I'm doing an interview with them at 7 p.m. But they're over in the States, so there is a time difference. But for everybody over here in the UK, I'll be posting from say 10 a.m. all day, and then the interview will be at 7 p.m. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Okay. And you've got, of course, those 3 words coming out just before Valentine's Day, you say?
Yeah, on the 12th of February, and you can pre-order and pre-save it at the moment. And the links are basically on all my social media accounts. So that's Instagram and Facebook, Twitter. So you can pre-order on iTunes or pre-save via Spotify. And I'm entering all the screenshots of the pre-saves and pre-orders into 2 different giveaways.
Ace. That sounds really good. Yeah, I've got Ronaldo asking what kind of music. He wants me to ask you what kind of music, if you can see that there.
So
He's from Brazil, by the way, and we've also got David Bispo from Brazil as well.
okay, yeah. So the kind of music that I do and that I write is country music, and I think for me something that I'm really excited about that is coming up after this single is my EP release, my debut EP release, and I'm really excited about those songs because they tell my story. And so far, I feel like I've taken on different perspectives for the songs that I have released. So even though I haven't experienced those things, I think they're things that I've seen and that I do still feel a connection to. But this EP will be entirely different because it's going to tell my story.
I can't wait to, and that's after Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's
That
after
release.
those 3 words. Then this will be the next project.
Can't wait for that.
I'm just so excited. I haven't got.
I just, I just wonder why it's taking you so long to get an EP out there, because you know you do a load of songs, a load of projects, and you've got you had the Dream out there and the Christmas song, and it's taken you a while to get to that EP.
Yeah. And actually, this is something that I find really interesting to talk about because I am a strong believer in that everything happens for a reason. And
Absolutely,
I wanted to
absolutely.
release a 4-song EP in the summer of 2020, and I had that planned, but then I couldn't get in the studio to record and lay the final vocals down. So by the time we'd recorded all of that and it was ready, the summer had gone and it was kind of creeping closer to Christmas, and I didn't want to hit that rush of Christmas songs and all these festivities going on, and for the songs in the EP not to get the listeners that I wanted it to get. So I held off, and I'm so glad that I did, because the EP has taken a bit of a turn. And what it was initially going to be last year, it is not like that now. And every song is tells my story, and it's the same story but from 4 different perspectives. So I don't know if that is self-explanatory, but the 4 songs, even though they are talking about the same experience, it's like one might be upset and feeling sad about something, but the other might be acceptance of the same thing. So they're just
Okay.
stages, I think, that you go through when you experience something.
And have we got a title for the EP?
I want to call it Perspective.
Okay. Is that a working title?
It is a working title because I haven't, usually once I've planned the cover photo and that's been taken, and then just everything comes together, then that's when you add the text and you put the name of the EP on there. So I guess it is a working title until that is set in stone, until we've taken the photos. So hopefully soon that'll be possible. We will be able to do things like that again.
Hopefully so. Well, Caitlin, you work very, very hard and keep working hard,
Thank
because
you.
you never give up. Never give up. Just to talk quickly, just to touch on a brief subject about The Voice and reality programs like that.
Yeah.
Would you ever consider going on anything like that?
I think this is actually really something that I guess when I was younger, I really wanted to do it. And I remember when I was coming out of infant school and going to primary, and I had these couple of friends. They weren't singers, but I was like, why don't we create this routine? So it'll be like a dance routine and singing. Let's go on Britain's Got Talent. But their parents didn't want them to. I think my parents weren't too keen either because I was so young. They didn't want me to do like the audition process when I was that young. But I think now I have a bit of a different outlook, because sometimes people go on these shows and it either knocks their confidence. It depends, I think, the kind of person you are, the kind of personality you have, but sometimes it knocks their confidence, and other times they go on there and then they like expect great things, and sometimes only a very small number of those people will get great things. It's just
Hmm.
it doesn't all happen straight away after the show. Sometimes it just takes so much hard work, and that's when you see results. So I think maybe if I did go on one of the shows, I would feel like, oh well, now I don't have to work so hard, and I don't think it does work like that. I think it is, you just have to put so much hard work in. And even when you think, oh okay, I can have like a breather, you just need to push more and more, because you could be so close to a breakthrough, and you've pulled back just as you're getting there, and then you miss the boat. So I wouldn't say that I would never do it, but I think it's like a huge thing to consider.
Mm. Well, wait, what do you think then? The people go on there with the, like you say, the high expectations,
Yeah,
right? And they think, I want this, and
yeah,
I just want a judge to turn, right? Um, but the experience of doing it is the best thing out of it, right? So the
yeah,
joy of it is actually singing on the telly and just doing that, rather than
yeah,
expecting. If you if
yeah,
you if a judge turns, bonus.
yeah.
Don't expect anything.
Yeah, I think actually that's the best way to to describe it, because it is actually an incredible opportunity to do that and be able to go on one of these huge shows. And yeah, it should be the experience you take away from it, and the fact that you get a big audience and an even wider spread audience, because you get to be on the TV so people can see and watch the performance from anywhere. So that is just an incredible experience, and you don't know who's going to be watching, and you know what new listeners you're going to pick up along the way, because it is hard to get that reach, I think, which actually the live streams and things have helped to an extent, because even though it's not TV, it has reached people who don't live in Wales. It reaches people who live in Canada and America and just everywhere, all over the world. But if I think for any artist who goes on these TV shows, it is the experience. That's what they have to keep in mind, because they have worked so hard to get there. They can't just hope that that is going to get them further. They have to enjoy the experience and the fact that they get to perform in front of such an audience. But then they have to continue the work, because they're obviously amazing to be where they are. And if they just keep pushing, they could be, you know, at the top of the tree.
Yeah, and I'd love to be a judge. I would love to be a judge. But what gets me is that they sit there going, yeah, this is really good and all that. And then they don't turn, or they turn right at the last second. And it's like, what's going on here? You know what? I don't know why they leave it so long. Are they sitting waiting for the very high note? I don't know what they actually waiting for, you know?
I think
the suspense of the program, probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think if I was a judge and I was listening and I thought, I love that, I would want to turn just to watch the whole performance.
Yeah, even if you don't.
Yeah, I would just want to see.
I'd love to do that
as well, because I know a lot of singers just stand, and it calls for that sometimes. A song just calls for you to stand with a mic stand and just be able to carry it with your voice. But the thing that I love about like performances is when they're moving across the stage, and it's like the whole thing, the whole package. Like they've got movement in there, and you know, facial expressions. They look like they are really into the song.
Yeah, and that's it, because they're enjoying it. And like you know, you show passion when you sing. I can hear it in your voice when you're singing as well, and that's good because you enjoy it.
Yeah, that is something that I've always said. Like, when I was being bullied in school, my parents would sometimes say, well, do you want to take a break from the music? And that was the one thing I always said. I don't want to take a break from the music ever, because that is my passion, and that is my favorite thing in the world. And I'm just glad that I never gave it up because I didn't fit into people's, you know, perfect standards in school, because I just feel like it's easy to lose your way when you give up the thing you love the most.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I was talking to an artist the other day. This is an interesting concept for you. Just imagine for one moment, right? And I tried this, but I couldn't do it. Imagine a world where there's no music at all.
I know.
Right? And I thought about it, and I thought, I can't imagine, you know, because music lets us relate to so much in our life, so much memory. You know, if there was a world without music, there'd be no soundtrack to any movie. It'd just be like,
it'd be boring,
really weird, you know.
Yeah,
lockdown of music.
Yeah, literally. I couldn't imagine a world without music, because, like, again, it is such a huge thing in so many people's lives, and it doesn't have to be country music for everyone. It can be pop, or it can be classical. It's huge across the world, like just music in general. And I remember that I went out to visit my grandparents in Spain, and we went to one of their friends' birthday parties, and this was before the world went mad with COVID-19. But I went out there, and my friend actually came. It was my first holiday without like going with my parents, like traveling alone. And there was this guy there, and he asked us what we wanted to do, because we just finished our GCSEs. So this would be where like we're going to college, or we're just choosing what we want to do. And she said she wanted to be a counsellor, and then he asked me, and I was like, sorry, I feel like I'm out of focus.
No, you're all right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit. It's just gone a bit blurry, maybe, but it's okay.
Yeah. She said she wanted to be a counselor, and he was like, "Wow, that's amazing. What do you want to do?" And I said, I want to be a singer, and I want to, touch people with my music, be able to make somebody feel something when they listen to
Mm.
the songs. And he just laughed, and so I think he thought I was joking, and I was like looking at him, and he was like, "Oh, well, that's useless." And I was like, "What?"
Why? Why?
Sorry.
Yeah.
And he
Have
was
you
like,
have you have you got his contact? You could send him some of your songs. Look what
"Yeah,
I'm doing now, sir.
I know." And he was like, "Yeah, your friend here wants to do something worthwhile, and she wants to be a counselor, and she wants to help people." And I said to him, music helps so many people. It is unbelievable because music is a therapy for so many
I was
people.
going to say music's a healer.
Yeah, and that's why I write my songs, a lot of them, because I feel like it just gets all the emotion that you're feeling down onto paper, and then you get to go into the studio and create something that you feel so close to and you feel so proud of. And even if other people didn't get to listen to the music that I create, I would still want to do it just for me, just because I love it. And it's just a bonus, the fact that other people get to listen to the songs and people like them. And it's just incredible to me that some people can put you down in an instant and they don't even think about it, because music, like you said, what would the world be like without music? And you
Yeah,
need people to create music. So,
exactly,
everybody,
exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
that's why there's people like these independent artists. Why I support independent artists as well, who don't get a chance to be heard. And that's what I've always said when I did hospital radio. As you know, I always said giving people the chance to be heard, who don't get a chance to mainstream radio. That's what it's about. It's still
Yeah.
music at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that you're not a huge artist who, has the support of a label and like a huge management company or something, doesn't mean that your songs are any less amazing or any less valid, because all songs are based off of thoughts and feelings and emotions and experiences, and all of our experiences are valid. And you just never know when you're going to get there and when you're going to hit like a gold mine, this something you would never have dreamed, could have even dreamed about. And that's why you've just got to hold on to your dreams, because what would the world be without our dreams?
Yeah, somebody sent me a photo, say it with a T-shirt on it saying "music, world without music," and there was like a music bars with no music in it.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, that's the T-shirt. Oh, okay. No, no, just get rid of that picture, please.
Yeah, I just it is
I
so.
do blame Maxine McClellan for that, by the way. She was the one who said she started the conversation off.
I just can't see a world without music. I just think it would be so black and white and so boring. Nothing of color would ever be there.
So, what would say if there weren't music? And I know that guy already asked you, what would you want to do? What would you do if you weren't a singer?
Okay, so I think guy this guy's years are going to be burning, because I don't think he would think this is worthwhile either, but to me it is. If I couldn't do the music, I would just focus on acting, and I would be an actress. And that is something that I still, you know, want to do now. Even though I'm doing music, I also love my acting, and it's again, it's something you can express yourself with, and it is something else that's creative. And so I would definitely then just focus wholeheartedly on the acting.
Yeah, and there's Steve Donaldson there saying it has for me all my life. That's why God put Caitlin in my life and heart. See,
Thank you so much, Steve. This
there
is
you are.
this is something else as well, because since 2020, and when things kind of turned upside down for so many people, I've actually found this incredible family and supportive community in country music. Because people just, I think as well, with country music, that I've noticed, they feel things so to the extreme. And I
Mm,
love that, because that's me. So I do feel that we are like this one big family.
we certainly are. Anyway, Caitlin, thank you very much. I really enjoyed that chat.
Me too. Thank you so much for having me.
No worries, and we'll catch up soon. And great best of luck with those 3 words.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
See you soon.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.